in many chapters, here in 13 parts. Mom, family, what's that? Asked the 5-year-old Elisa. She lives in the 50s with her mom in a tiny apartment. It is Advent, and she asks, Mommy, family, what's that? On this long journey, Elisa experiences many adventures, stories, and has deep insights. Mosaic for mosaic, she assembles the image of her family until she finds it in her soul. Now I want to invite you to my Christmas story. Mommy, family, what's that? Chapter 2, Series 1, Part 6. Mommy, family, what's that? The other homeland. Grandma. Grandma, it's nice that you exist. How I long for you, mumbled the child. Everything is all right, grandmother replied, holding her close. Suddenly, they were surrounded by many people. Uncles, aunts, and cousins. How warm and strong that felt. Was that what family was? Was it family? The grandmother took her by the hand and walked with her along the snow-laden street. Here the houses were completely different than in her home village. Tightly built together and with large courtyards and stables in the back. The people looked curious and greeted friendly. The women were all wearing aprons and headscarves, and the men had round capes on their heads. Finally, grandmother and the child arrived at an old church ruin. They stepped through a large gate and stood in the cemetery. Grandmother went with the child to the grave of grandfather, where they stayed for a long time. They had 8 children together, she and her husband, Elisa's grandfather. 3 of them followed the call home to the Reich, following the centuries-old yearning for their lost home. Proud people, the Transylvanian Saxons, these people who settled there 700 years ago, built their German schools, their villages and farms, and their German tradition, their German language, and their German customs, which they still spiritually tried to uphold. Was it blindness, arrogance, or blind love? To educate them in this tradition, she thought, and then let them go. She thought bitterly and with a heavy heart inside. How long she didn't see them, her sons. Now the Russians had taken their farms away from them, and they were only allowed to live in them for money. They had to work their own fields and vineyards for the others, the kolkhoz, and got only the 10th part. Their daughters were taken away from them and abducted to Siberia, where they still were. But the little girl didn't know anything about that. She only felt the cold and the grave and asked, "Grandma, you and Grandpa, you are the parents of Dad?" "Yes, child," replied the grandmother. "Were you then a real family?" "Yes, we were. Father, mother, and 8 children, as well as 2 grandparents. Your father was the second of 8. That must have been nice, Granny." "Yes, indeed, it was, until the war separated us." The snow glittered, and a woman was stamping down the street, complaining about something. She said that tonight the wolves had torn and taken 2 sheep. "Yes, yes," replied the grandmother. "Bad times for man and beast."